What's up, Suplex Nation? The Miz just made a demand backstage on Smackdown that has everyone talking, and trust me, you're not going to believe what the A-lister is cooking up this time. This could change everything we thought we knew about the current landscape on the Blue brand. Quick transition sound effect: before we break this down, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a moment of the action here on Suplex Rumble. Alright wrestling fans, let's set the stage. Smackdown has been absolutely on fire lately, and just when we thought things couldn't get more intense, The Miz reminded everyone why he's been one of the most consistent superstars in WWE for nearly 2 decades. Now, for those who might be new to the Suplex Rumble family, welcome. We're all about breaking down the biggest moments, the most shocking twists, and the storylines that keep us glued to our screens every single week. And this particular backstage segment? It's one that could have major ramifications moving forward. The Miz has always been someone who knows how to work the system. Whether he's playing the arrogant Hollywood star, the desperate veteran trying to reclaim glory, or the calculating manipulator pulling strings behind the scenes, Mike Mizanin understands the wrestling business better than most. He's a former WWE champion, multiple-time Intercontinental champion, and someone who's main event WrestleMania. So when The Miz makes a demand, people listen. But what exactly did he demand? And more importantly, who was on the receiving end of this ultimatum? Let's dive deep into what went down backstage on SmackDown. The segment opened with The Miz storming through the backstage area with that signature swagger we've all come to know. You could see the determination in his eyes, and his body language told the entire story before he even opened his mouth. This wasn't the comedy Miz or the reality show Miz. This was the focused, dangerous version of the awesome one that we sometimes forget exists. He approached what appeared to be a production area, and the cameras caught him confronting someone from WWE management. Now, the specific details of who exactly he was speaking with varied depending on how the segment played out, but the message was crystal clear: The Miz wants what he believes he deserves, and he wants it now. The demand itself centered around opportunity. The Miz made it abundantly clear that he's tired of being overlooked, tired of watching newer stars get opportunities that he feels should be his, and tired of his legacy being questioned. He pointed to his resume, his accomplishments, and his longevity in the company. And honestly, he makes some valid points. Think about it from his perspective. The Miz has been with WWE since the mid-2000s. He's consistently delivered both in the ring and on the microphone. He's never been injured for extended periods. He's a company ambassador who represents WWE in mainstream media, and he's evolved his character more times than most superstars ever do. Yet, in recent years, he's often found himself in the midcard while others get the spotlight. His demand specifically called for a high-profile match, a title opportunity, or a storyline that would put him back in the main event picture where he believes he belongs. The way he delivered this message was intense, focused, and honestly a bit unsettling. There was an edge to The Miz that we haven't seen in quite some time. This wasn't just a character cutting a promo. This felt personal. This felt real. What made the segment particularly compelling was the tension in the air. The person he was speaking with tried to deflect, tried to calm him down, but The Miz wasn't having any of it. He made it clear that if his demands weren't met, there would be consequences. Now, he didn't specify exactly what those consequences would be, and that's what makes this so intriguing. The ambiguity, the uncertainty, the threat hanging in the air. It's classic wrestling storytelling at its finest. Let's take a step back and look at where The Miz is currently in his career trajectory. For the past few years, we've seen him in various roles. He's been a tag team specialist alongside different partners. He's feuded over the Intercontinental Championship. He's played mentor to younger stars. He's done reality television integration with his Miz and Mrs. Show. But none of these roles have positioned him as a legitimate threat at the top of the card. This demand could signal a character shift that longtime fans have been waiting for. Remember when The Miz was the most hated man in WWE? When he was so arrogant, so insufferable, so absolutely convinced of his own greatness that fans couldn't help but tune in to see him get his comeuppance? That version of The Miz was compelling television, and it's been missing from WWE programming for a while now. What's fascinating about this particular moment is that The Miz might actually be right. In the world of professional wrestling, where reality and fiction blur together, some of the best storylines come from genuine frustration. If Mike Mizanin the person feels like he's been underutilized, then The Miz the character channeling that frustration becomes incredibly authentic. And authenticity is what connects with audiences more than anything else. We've seen this pattern throughout wrestling history. Veterans reach a point where they demand respect, demand opportunity, and demand to be taken seriously. Sometimes it leads to a career renaissance. Think about how this exact type of moment has launched major storylines in the past for countless superstars who felt overlooked or undervalued. The chilling aspect of his demand wasn't just what he said, but how he said it. There was a coldness to his delivery, a calculating quality that suggested he's thought this through. He's not making empty threats. He's not throwing a tantrum. He's making a strategic move, and that's what makes it so dangerous. A desperate Miz is unpredictable, and an unpredictable superstar is a dangerous one. So where does WWE go from here? That's the million-dollar question that has the wrestling community buzzing right now. There are several fascinating directions this storyline could take, and each one has its own compelling elements. First possibility, The Miz could go full villain and start targeting younger stars who he believes took his spot. Imagine The Miz systematically trying to take out rising talent, claiming that he's protecting the integrity of WWE and proving that experience matters more than hype. This would position him as a credible threat while also elevating the next generation by having them overcome a seasoned veteran. Second possibility, WWE could actually grant his demand but in a twisted way. Maybe he gets his title match, but against someone completely unexpected or in a stipulation that's designed to embarrass him. This could fuel his frustration even further and lead to increasingly desperate measures. A cornered Miz could become more dangerous as the storyline progresses. Third possibility, The Miz could form an alliance with other veterans who feel similarly overlooked. Imagine a faction of established stars who decide they're tired of being pushed aside for the next hot prospect. This would create a genuine conflict between generations and philosophies about what WWE should be. It's a storyline that would have layers and could involve multiple superstars across the roster. Fourth possibility, this could be personal targeting of one specific superstar who The Miz believes embodies everything wrong with WWE's current direction. Maybe someone who's gotten opportunities that Miz thinks he deserved. This would create a focused, intense feud built on genuine animosity rather than contrived circumstances. What makes this demand so effective from a storytelling perspective is that it opens up numerous pathways. The writers have flexibility to take this in multiple directions depending on what other storylines are happening, what superstars are available, and what the long-term plans might be. That's the mark of a good angle. It has legs and can evolve organically based on audience reaction. The backstage setting also matters here. By making this demand away from the live audience, it feels more real, more urgent. It's not a rehearsed promo in the ring. It's not playing to the crowd. It's business being conducted in the shadows, which makes it feel more legitimate and consequently more compelling. The wrestling community has been absolutely lighting up social media since this segment aired. Fans are divided, which is exactly what you want from effective storytelling. Some fans are completely behind The Miz, arguing that he's absolutely correct about being underutilized and that WWE should give him another main event run. These fans point to his reliability, his mic skills, and his ability to make any storyline work. Other fans are skeptical, wondering if The Miz still has what it takes to be a credible main event threat in today's WWE. The roster is stacked with incredible athletes, and the style of wrestling has evolved significantly even in the past few years. Can The Miz hang with the current top tier? That's a legitimate question that this storyline could answer definitively. What's interesting is that both sides of the debate are engaged, and that engagement is what drives interest. People are talking about The Miz again in a serious context, not just as a reliable mid-card hand or a comedy character. They're debating his merit, his legacy, and his future. That's exactly the conversation WWE wants happening. Some fans have pointed out that this feels reminiscent of previous veteran storylines that led to incredible moments. Wrestling history is full of examples where an established star's final run produced some of their best work. Could this be that moment for The Miz? Is this the beginning of his most memorable chapter? The speculation alone has created buzz, and buzz translates to viewership. People will tune in to see what happens next, how management responds, and whether The Miz gets what he's demanding. That's effective storytelling that hooks the audience and makes them invested in the outcome. Suplex Nation, what we witnessed on Smackdown was potentially the beginning of something special. The Miz made a chilling demand that could reshape the entire landscape of the blue brand moving forward. Whether he gets what he wants or has to take it by force remains to be seen, but one thing is certain, the Awesome One is no longer content to be overlooked. This is the kind of storyline that could reignite The Miz's career in ways we haven't seen in years. It's built on genuine emotion, it has multiple potential directions, and it's got the entire wrestling world talking. That's the recipe for compelling television, and I for one cannot wait to see where this goes. What do you think, Suplex Nation? Should WWE give The Miz what he's demanding? Does he deserve another shot at the top? Or is this the desperate move of a veteran who can't accept that his time has passed? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single one and I love hearing your perspectives. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Suplex Rumble for more wrestling breakdowns, analysis, and news, and hit that notification bell so you're always first to know when we drop new content. I'm your host, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep wrestling awesome, Suplex Nation.